Chapter 21 of Ramayana's Yudhakhanda, Kumbhakarna on the field. Apadamahartaram Dataram Sarvasampadam Lokaviramam Shriramam Bhuyo Bhuyo Namamyam. Kumbhakarna, who was a Maharatika, was followed by several of the warriors in his brother's army, and there was a mammoth procession towards the army of Rama. He spoke with smiles and loud laughter about how he would kill the army made up of monkeys. He told his companions, Rama and his brother Lakshmana are the sole causes for this confusion in the minds of you people and in that of my brother. If they are killed, peace will reign once more in Lanka. Evil omens were seen as he left the city, and he did not think of them at all. He was so sure of success that he would not let any other thought enter his mind. He crossed the city wall and he saw that there was an immense army made up of monkeys. When they saw him, the monkeys were greatly frightened and they ran away in all the four directions, looking like clouds scattered by a strong breeze. He set up such a roar that it struck terror into the hearts of the monkeys. Several of them fainted away even at the sound of his roar. He held his trident aloft and looked like Yama bent on the destruction of the world. The Vanara army saw the terrible aspect he presented and they fled in panic from his presence. Rama saw the confusion in his army and he saw the cause of it. He saw the stupendous figure striding along with a trident in his hand. He was amazed at the sight and he asked Vibhishana, Who is he? He is wearing a crown and he is like a mountain. His eyes are tawny red and he is indeed fearful to look at. Tell me, who is he? Is he an Asura or a Rakshasa? I have never seen the likes of him before. Vibhishana said, He is the son of Vishravas and his name is Kumbhakarna. He is the brother of Ravana. Yama and Indra have been defeated easily by him. There is no Rakshasa to equal him in size or in valor. He is considered to be invincible. The Devas were so scared of him, they thought that he was Rudra, who was bent on the task of annihilating the universe. He is, by birth, valiant. Others are valiant because of the boons granted to them. As soon as he was born, Kumbhakarna was oppressed by a dreadful hunger, and he ate all that he could lay hands on. The world of men went to Indra for succor. Angry with him, Indra took up his Vajra and hit Kumbhakarna with it. The brother of our Ravana set up such a roar that the world trembled in fear. He was angry with pain and he pulled out a tusk of the great Airavata and he hit Indra on the chest. Those in the heavens saw Indra suffering and they were sorry for him. Indra went to Brahma and told him about the mishap which had visited him. Brahma sent for Kumbhakarna and, frightened of the possible harm to the world because of his ravenous hunger, he cursed him. You have been born in the house of Pulastya for the sole purpose of destroying the world. I curse you to sleep as though you are dead. Kumbhakarna at once fell down there, sunk in a deep sleep. Ravana, who is very fond of his brother, became greatly concerned and made a plea to Brahma. He said, Your curse is like letting a champaka tree grow fully and then cutting it down. He is your great grandson and you should not be so cruel. You should modify your words and stipulate a certain time for his sleep and for his waking up. Brahma said, He will sleep for 6 months, then wake up for one single day and will go back to sleep, and he will sleep for another 6 months. During that one day, he will eat up as many animals as he can find and he will be like a forest fire when he is hungry. Rama was listening with wonder, and Vibhishana said, "When Ravana was defeated by you, he must have become worried, and he has woken up Kumbhakarna to help him in his hour of need. Kumbhakarna has come with the intention of killing as many of the Vanaras as he can. Our men have fled even at the sight of him. I wonder how they will have the courage to face him and give him a fight." Jai Shri Ram. Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Ramanama Varanane. Om Shri Ramar Panamast. Chapter 21, Part 2 of Ramayana's Yudhakhanda. Kumbhakarna is woken up. Apadam hartaram dataram sarvasampadam lokabhiramam Shriramam bhuyo bhuyo namamyaham. Rama called Neela and said, "Go with your army and guard the fortress of Ravana, the gateways and the moat. Ask our men to collect rocks and trees and to be ready to fight. Let them station themselves on all sides of the field." Neela did as he was bid. Gavaksha, Sharaba, Hanuman and Angada collected the rocks from the mountain tops and began to attack the army brought by Kumbhakarna. Angada called his chiefs and the army and said, "Why do you behave like ordinary monkeys and run away from here? Why are you afraid? What is coming towards us is a machine, a contrivance which is mechanical, and the noise from it is arranged to put fright into you. Let us join together and destroy this contraption." After some hesitation, the monkeys returned to the field armed with their usual weapons, trees and rocks. They hurled them at Kumbhakarna, who was unaffected by their onslaught. The rocks were powdered and the trees broken into splinters by the impact against his body. He advanced towards them and began to destroy the army methodically. He was like a forest fire bent on burning up the entire wood. There was just one emotion prevailing in the field, and that was fear, terror. Some of the monkeys rushed up to the bridge which had brought them to Lanka, and they wanted to go back the same way. Angada spoke to them and tried to encourage them to fight. He appealed to their honor and their courage and their pride. He said, "It is shameful not to fight. It is shameful to run away. You spoke so highly of yourselves when we set out. Where is it all gone? Cowardice is the lowest of all virtues. Avoid it and come back here to fight. Let us die on the battlefield. Death here will grant us a place in the abode of Brahma. Come, let us court fame and die on the field. We will wait and see what happens when this monster approaches Rama. Like a moth which encounters a flame, he will reach his end when he sees Rama. We should not behave like this now. It is shameful." They were quite unwilling to come back. Life seemed so much sweeter than the promised rewards of a place in the heavens after death. Finally, with great reluctance and trepidation, they came back to the field, and that was not because they were brave, but because they did not dare disobey their beloved prince. They found their courage coming back in their veins, and they fought with enthusiasm. Ravana's brother was harassing them. Hundreds and hundreds of Vanaras were on the ground, killed or wounded or maimed by him. He was eating many of them, and he strode the field of battle with loud cries of triumph. Dvividha fought him bravely. He hurled a large section of the mountain at Kumbhakarna. The rock missed him, but fell on the army and crushed several horses, elephants, chariots, and several hundreds of Rakshasas. He threw another rock and continued his work of destruction. Hanuman joined Dvividha, and the fight went on. Kumbhakarna's trident was enough to whisk away the rocks and trees, which were thrown at him, and he laughed loudly again and again. Hanuman came near him and smote him. Kumbhakarna was hurt and he was bleeding. He thrust his trident towards the chest of Hanuman and he was hurt. All the monkey leaders joined together and came to the assistance of Hanuman and Vivida. But nothing could harm the dreadful Rakshasa or his army. Even one of them in the Avanara army was beaten up by him and fell down either in a faint or hurt. The monkeys went in a group and falling on him began to bite him with their sharp teeth. He was unaffected and began to pluck them one by one and eat them up. Angada was the only one who could harass Kumbhakarna again and again. He escaped his trident which was flung at him in anger. He hit the Rakshasa on the chest, which made him faint for a moment. A moment later, of course, he regained his strength and felled Angada with a blow from his fist. Kumbhakarna went now in search of Sugriva. He defied the brother of Ravana bravely. Sugriva jumped into the sky and with a rock held in his hand he said, "You are very valiant. Several of my heroes have been defeated by you and have fallen. We have accomplished what no one else has been able to do so far. You are swallowing up my army. You have won fame too. But tell me what you gain by this show of your strength against weak opponents like my poor monkeys. Can you not do something better? Come, fight with me. Let me see if you can bear a hit from this rock which I am going to throw at you." Kumbhakarna said, "Oh monkey, you are the grandson of Brahma and you are the son of Riksharajas. I know that. Why do you brag unnecessary? Show me some action." Jai Shri Ram. Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattuliyam Ramanama Varanane. Om Shri Ramar Pranamast. Chapter 21, Part 3 of Ramayana's Yudhakhanda, Kumbhakarna on the field. Shri Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Patahe Namaha. Sugriva hurled the rock at Kumbhakarna and the rock was broken into 1,000 pieces, but nothing happened to the intended victim. Hanuman came to the aid of his king. He grabbed the trident which Kumbhakarna was sporting and he broke it into two. Sugriva had been thrown to the ground in a faint after a hit from a stone hurled by Kumbhakarna, who now took up Sugriva in his huge hands and walked away from there. He had made up his mind to imprison him. That would throw a scare into the army of Rama. Hanuman was trying to think of a way of saving his master, some way by which he could be released from the clutches of Kumbhakarna. He decided against it, knowing that Sugriva was clever enough to extricate himself somehow. Kumbhakarna entered the city and was walking in the streets of Lanka. He had Sugriva in his arms and the king of the monkeys was slowly regaining consciousness. He realized what was happening and reaching out his head, he forcibly bit into the ear and nose of the Rakshasa. Pain made him drop Sugriva and to drag him on the ground. Sugriva jumped into the sky and soon he had gone back to the field and was standing beside Rama. Kumbhakarna returned to the field. He looked like a cloud lit up by the rays of the setting sun. He was like death personified, and the number of Vanaras he had killed and eaten was countless. Lakshmana accosted him and used his arrows to hurt him, but they were ineffective against him. Lakshmana was furious. He persisted with his rain of arrows, and Kumbhakarna spoke in a voice resembling the rumbling of thunder. He said, "I am impressed by your valor. Yama was not able to withstand my prowess, and yet you seem to be brave enough to stand against me and fight well. Indra, mounted on his Airavata, aided by all his devas, has never once stood in front of me as firmly as you are doing now. Lakshmana, though you are a child, your bravery is praiseworthy. I am pleased with you. Let me go. I am eager to meet Rama. Though I am pleased with your valor, your courage, and your enthusiasm, I am bent on meeting Rama, by killing whom I would have achieved the purpose of my life. Once Rama is dead, then the rest of the army can be wiped out by my men. Lakshmana smiled scathingly at him and said, "It is quite true that you have vanquished Indra and Yama. I have seen it with my eyes too. You want Rama. Here he is, firm as a rock, waiting for you." Even as he was saying it, Kumbhakarna did not wait for him to finish his words, but went fast towards Rama. The fight for which he had been waiting, and which Rama was waiting for too, began abruptly. Rama sent arrows which had been invoked, and they hurt Kumbhakarna. He was spitting fire, and the pain caused by the arrows only added to his wrath. Arrows with the feathers of the peacock adorning them were shot by Rama, and they lodged in the immense chest of Kumbhakarna. His huge gada fell from his hands, and his weapons too. He realized that he had lost his weapons, and so he used his arms and legs to cause as much havoc as he could. He was covered with blood, and he fought with his arms. He took up a huge boulder from the ground and hurled it at Rama. Rama stopped its progress with 7 arrows. His arrows, tipped with gold, broke open the armor of Kumbhakarna. Glowing like the peak of Meru, it fell to the ground. Lakshmana said, "Rama, he is drunk with blood. He has been killing monkeys and Rakshasas too indiscriminately. Let all the monkeys climb on him and prevent him from causing further harm." The monkeys scrambled on him, and with a shake he shook them off. Rama grasped his bow firmly in his hand and advanced towards him. Kumbhakarna looked like one of the elephants which hold up the earth. He was as huge and noble looking as the peak of the Vindhya mountain or Meru. Golden bracelets gleamed on his arms, and he was like the fire with 7 tongues. Jai Shri Ram. Shri Ram Ram Rame Tirame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Ramanama Varanane. Om Shri Ramar Pranamast. Chapter 22 of Ramayana's Yudhakhanda, the death of Kumbhakarna. Apadamahartaram dataram sarvasampadam lokaviramam Shriramam bhuyo bhuyo namamyaham. Rama was also like fire which burns without smoke. He stood in front of Kumbhakarna, and there was an unruffled expression on his face. He pulled the string of his bow and said, "Brave Rakshasa, do not tire yourself. I am waiting for you with my bow. I am Rama, whom you have been searching for. You said that you wanted to meet me, and here I am. Look at me well and for the last time, since you will soon lose consciousness and will not be able to see me. I have decided to kill you." Kumbhakarna laughed loudly and said, "Do not confuse me with Viradha or Kabanda, nor I am to be mistaken for Kara or Vali. I am not Maricha either. I am Kumbhakarna, and I am not like the others. Look at this Mudgara with which I once defeated the Asuras and the Devas. Let me see your Vela. I have heard so much about it." Rama sent arrows at Kumbhakarna, and they did not seem to hurt him. Rama raised a single eyebrow as though to ask, The arrow which pierced the 7 salas, the arrow which had killed Vali, seems to prove ineffective against this Kumbhakarna. Rama was as calm and Kumbhakarna was as unaffected as a mountain when rain drops fall on it. Rama invoked a Vayu and sent the Astra against the enemy. He cut off the arm which held the Mudgara. Kumbhakarna screamed in pain. With his other arm, he pulled out a tree and threw it at Rama. Then Rama invoked Indra and sent that Astra towards Kumbhakarna, and the other arm was now severed and fell on the earth. With 2 more arrows, Rama cut off his legs. He now took up another arrow and very solemnly he pronounced the incantations for the Aindrastra and sent the Astra towards Kumbhakarna. The Astra resembled the Vajra of Indra and went hurtling towards Kumbhakarna. It severed his head from his body, even as Vajra once severed the body and head of Vritra apart in the days of the long ago. Kumbhakarna's head fell on the ground. His body slipped down and half fell into the sea. Kumbhakarna, the great hero, the terror of the world of the Devas, the sole hope of Ravana, now lay dead on the field of battle, and there was great commotion everywhere. The skies resounded with the cries of "Well done, well done," uttered by the divine watchers from the heavens. The Rakshasas were heartbroken. They cried out in anguish when their chief lay dead. The Vanara army, however, was like the sun released from the mouth of Rahu, and Rama stood triumphant in their midst. He was as pleased as Indra when he killed Vritra. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Jai Shri Ram. Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Ramanama Varanane. Om Shri Ramarpanamastu. Chapter 23 of Ramayana's Yudhakhanda, the young heroes. Shri Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunataya Nataya Sitaya Pataye Namaha. Messengers hurried to the court of Ravana. For a long time, they stood without talking, and then hesitantly they began to speak. They said, "My lord, your valiant brother Kumbhakarna tormented the army of the Vanaras even as a storm worries the sea and the forest trees. He was making a meal of them, and there was panic and nothing but panic in the army. He accosted several of the Vanara chiefs and came out victorious in every one of the many encounters. He met Lakshmana, and after fighting with him for a while, he left him and went to Rama." They paused here, and Ravana, with a proud and happy look on his face, smiled and asked them to continue, saying, "I knew that I could depend on my beloved brother to rid me of that meddlesome enemy. Tell me, how did he kill Rama? Did he use his trident, or was it with his bare hands?" They trembled when they heard the hopeful words of their king. They said, "My lord, a great fight ensued between Rama and Kumbhakarna. The limbs of Kumbhakarna were severed by Rama, and finally his head was cut off from his body, and he fell like a tree burnt in the forest fire. When he was told about it, Ravana fell down in faint. His sorrow was unbearable. Devantaka, Narantaka, Trishiras, and Atikaya cried openly when they heard about the death of their uncle. Mahodara and Mahaparshva were sunk in awe. After a long time, with great difficulty, Ravana came out of his faint, and he gave vent to his grief which was immense. He wailed, "Oh, my brother, beloved brother, where has it all gone? Your valor, your bravery, and your indomitable spirit. Leaving me alone here, you have reached the abode of Yama. You have gone, giving unbearable pain to me and to the entire Rakshasa clan. You were the sole support I had when I fought with the Devas and the Asuras. I see no purpose in living any longer. How could a great hero like you find his death at the hands of Rama? Indra's Vajra was ineffectual as far as you were concerned, and yet you have succumbed to Rama's arrows. How could it have happened? I cannot believe it. I can see the celestials dancing and singing in joy at your death. There is no way of controlling the Vanaras who will be filled with ecstasy. Without Kumbhakarna, I have no wish to rule the kingdom, nor is this life dear to me any more. I am alive only to complete one task. I must avenge the death of my beloved brother Kumbhakarna. If I do not do so, I will be the lowest of the low. After that, I will even be happy. But now, either I fight to avenge his death, or I too will die. I will join my brother in the other world. I do not see anything left with this which is pleasing to me. The Devas will laugh at me now that my brother is dead. I can almost see them. Vibhishana seems to have spoken the truth when he told me that Rama is valiant. Foolishly, I refused to listen to his advice, and I have now lost my precious brother. Kumbhakarna and Prahasta were both very dear to me, and they are both dead. It is shameful that I should have sent them to their deaths. Vibhishana was righteous, and I drove him away from my presence. I am reaping the reward for that act of mine. Ravana's grief was burning him up, and he was indeed a pathetic figure. He was extremely fond of Kumbhakarna, and his mind could not grasp the truth that he was dead. When he was thus immersed in his woe, Trishiras, one of his sons, said, "Father, our valiant uncle is dead. He is lying on the field of battle, his limbs severed and his head illuminating the entire field. The wise should not give in to grief like this. You are lord of the three worlds, and it is not right that you should be unhappy and forget your prowess. You should not lose heart like any ordinary person. You have the Shakti given to you by Brahma, and you have an armor which is unbreakable, and you have a magnificent bow with quivers full of arrows. There is that glorious chariot of yours, and you have won the name that you defeated the Devas and the Asuras many times without the use of weapons. You should take all your weapons and kill Rama in battle. But that is to come later. At the present moment, allow me to go, and I will kill all of them. I will go to the forefront, and like Garuda destroys the serpents, I will be the death of every one of them. Permit me, my lord." Ravana, whose death was drawing near, heard the words of Trishiras and thought that he would agree to his suggestion. Devantaka, Narantaka, and Atikaya, the other sons of Ravana, were excited by the words of Trishiras, and they were eager to fight. These young sons of Ravana vied with each other in their enthusiasm to fight. They were all great fighters, Maharatikas, and they were conversant with Maya tactics too. They had faced the Devas with courage and had been victorious in their wars. All were heroes, and all were strong and valiant. They had been blessed with boons, and they were well versed in everything. The proud young sons of Ravana wanted to be sent to the forefront. Jai Shri Ram. Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattvalyam Ramanama Varanane. Om Shri Ramar Pranamastu. Chapter 24 of Ramayana's Yudhakhanda, the Vailer of the Princess. Shri Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha. Ravana felt proud of his sons, and he felt that they might win where others had failed. He embraced them with great affection. He blessed them and allowed them to go out into the field of battle. They prostrated before him and prepared themselves to go. Yuddhonmatta and Mattha went with them. Mounted on elephants and in their chariots, they went out of the gateways of the city, and there was great excitement in the ranks of the Rakshasas when they were seen. A large army went with them, and they reached the field of battle. Their war cry was loud, and the Vanaras heard it. The encounter between the two armies was terrible. There was a rain of arrows and javelins and tridents from the enemy side. The killing of Kumbhakarna had made the Vanaras very happy and certain that they were superior to the Rakshasas, and the latter were furious because of the death of their greatest hero, Kumbhakarna, and they fought as though they had been inspired. Narantaka was wreaking havoc, and Sugriva came to the rescue of his army. He called Angada and said, "You must go and fight with this Narampaka. He seems to be extremely young, and he is wreaking havoc among our ranks." Angada challenged Narantaka, and they fought a terrible duel, at the end of which the son of Ravana was killed. Yuddhonmatta, Devantaka and Trishiras saw the killing of Narantaka and went to fight with Angada, who was later joined by Hanuman and Neela. A glorious fight ensued in which Hanuman killed Devantaka. Yuddhonmatta was killed by Neela and Trishiras also by Hanuman. Matta was then killed by Rishabha. It was indeed a terrible debacle as far as the army of the Rakshasas was concerned. Atikaya came to the forefront to avenge the death of his brothers and his uncles. He was huge like Kumbhakarna, and several of the Vanaras fled from him, thinking that it was Kumbhakarna who came back to life. They rushed to Rama, and Rama asked Vibhishana who he was. "He is as huge as a mountain, and his eyes are tawny. His chariot is large, and excellent horses are yoked to it. Fierce weapons have been placed in it, and he looks like Rudra with the Pramataganas. He is really noble looking and seems to be a Maharathika. His bow is beautiful too, and he must be a great warrior on the side of Ravana. Tell me, who is he?" Vibhishana said, "He is the son of Ravana. He is like his father in valor, and he is conversant with astras. He has been well trained. He can fight from an elephant or a horse or from a chariot. He is a great fighter. He is the son of Dhanya Malini, one of the wives of Ravana. Brahma has granted him divine astras, and the chariot was also given to him by Brahma. He has defeated the heavenly host. Indra's Vajra and Varuna's Pasha are not frightful to this young hero. He is a dangerous opponent. He is angry at the thought of the death of his brothers, and you should put an end to his valor soon." Atikaya was wading through the army like a farmer walks through a field with a skith in hand. He brushed aside the many Vanara chiefs who accosted him, and he came straight to Rama and said, "I do not want to fight with any ordinary antagonist. Let someone worthwhile who come and dare to fight with me." Lakshmana could not brook his arrogance, and he went to fight with Atikaya. He twanged his bow string, and the young prince took up a sharp arrow in his hand and said, "Lakshmana, you are yet a child in the art of fighting, and you should go back. Do you dare to face Yama? No one, not Himavan on the earth nor the heavens, can bear the power of my arrows. Do not rouse the fire which glows at the end of the yuga. Do not lose your life at my hands. If you still persist and want to fight, then you will see the speed with which my arrows travel, and soon you will be finding a bed on this ground strewn with arrows and javelins and stones. You can be sure of that. Atikaya fought with his deadly arrows, and the fight was terrible. And Lakshmana sent the astra presided over by Agni, and Atikaya replied with Suryastra. The two flames destroyed each other, and the sight was glorious. Each sent an astra and the other, the one to nullify it. While the fight was going on, Vayu, the god of wind, came near Lakshmana and whispered in his ears, "He has been favored by Brahma. His armor cannot be broken by anyone. He can be killed only by the Brahmastra. He is immune to the other astras." Lakshmana listened to his advice. He took up an arrow and, invoking the great Brahmastra, he recited the incantations. The four quarters, the moon, the sun and the planets, the sky and the earth trembled with fear. He sent it after he had aimed it at Atikaya's chest. Atikaya tried to defend himself against it, but he could not. His head with its jeweled crown fell to the ground. There was great jubilation in the Vanara camp and intense dismay in that of the Rakshasas. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Jai Shri Ram. Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Ramanama Varanane. Om Shri Ramarpanamastu.